Hey guys, Johnny Vivento here. How you doing? Just another one, just a quick one. Let's have a little chat. My afternoon chat of today. Let me bring this a little forward. How you doing? I miss talking about Sarasota Tim. I miss it. I haven't been watching his stuff because I don't want to get back into the Sarasota Tim stuff. But there's one thing, you know, today, going out for lunch, and I got to talk to you about this because this is an observance. I think I've told you this before, that went out for lunch alone today. My wife went out actually alone, and I kind of like followed suit. I went on my bike, and I stopped by and had a nice little lunch somewhere. And it was nice. It was like a chicken Milanese with some, what did it have? It had some refried beans, a few vegetables, I think, and a drink. And in a nice place, you know, like everyone did provecho, like bon appetit. You know, everyone's like kind of friendly there. It's a sit down thing. You have a waitress, everything's great. And the bill was like $5. Okay, and I was thinking to myself, my God, $5. It was a hell of a nice meal for $5. Oh, sorry, and it had a little consomme came with it, a little soup with it. And I was thinking, wow, $5. Think about what you can get in the United States for $5. Like in Colorado, where I've been living for the last 13 months. I've just been back a month. And I can remember going to Mike's New Jersey Subs, which is a big thing, like in Colorado. Probably all around the United States, right? It's a thing's franchised everywhere. And somebody, my old landlord, asked me to bring him a sandwich one time, him and his wife, which I did. And they said, what do you want? I didn't even look at the menu because I had it written down. And I said 2 subs, 1 roast beef, 1 chicken, 1, I said, great. All the, do you want anything? Yeah, we want all the toppings except for peppers or whatever. And the bill was $23.90 for 2 sandwiches, 2 subs. Probably that big, you know, like the sub. And I was thinking, oh my God, okay, that's fine. And I'm thinking today I had an incredible meal with a waiter, a little soup, a really nice drink, like a cranberry juice, like a big one, that size, with a really, really nice meal. I'm full up now, you know, and I had it like 3-4 hours ago. I'm still full with it for $5. I'm thinking, oh my God, think about it. What's going on? The dollar's going down. I think it was like 1770 when it left today. I think at the close. So what I'm saying is that, wow, you can really live here on a real budget. You know, people that live in the U.S. and on Social Security, let's say, or a small pension. Wow, what you can do here with that money. You know, you don't have to struggle anymore. On my last video, I was talking about how much it would cost for a married couple if you had $2,500 US dollars per month. Wow, you could live a hell of a life here. You know, your apartment and utilities are about $600, so you got to think, I got $1,900 to spend on us over the next month, which is not bad. You know, if you think about $1,900 US, you could do pretty well on that. You know, you'd have a good time. You could take Ubers almost every day downtown, have a couple of drinks, have a little something to eat. You can go to you got to be a little frugal. I'm not saying you should go to great restaurants every day. You go to one great restaurant in Puerto Vallarta and it will cost you that $1,900. You know, if there's 6 of you or whatever. But what I'm saying is that, yeah, it's great. You know, you get some street food, which is always good here. I've never known anybody to really get sick from street food. I think just one time in the last 4 or 5 years. But you can do it. You can actually do it. You can come and you can live a good life and you don't have any worries anymore. You don't have to find these big rents that you have to find in the U.S. You can live a nice, quiet life. I can get you a place in this complex where I am right now. This complex. I can get you a place here for about $650 a month. I know 2 places that are going right now. In fact, they're over here. I can get you 2 places going right now. About $650 a month. One of them's a little more actually. I think it's like seven something a month. But there's one for $650. And you can do it. You just need the incentive. You need to drive. Put everything down and just say, I'm out of here. Especially if you're single or you are married and you don't have family, or you want to get away. Get away for 6 months. Come and sign the lease. It doesn't have to be here. It can be over there, somewhere, that direction. Okay, if you want. Somewhere down the road, like in Bucerias, or a place called Huncaxley, which is really nice, or Punta Mita. Somewhere a little outside, a little local. We can find a cheaper place to live. You can be near a lot of expats. It's like living in the US. Basically it is. There's no difference, just a cheaper way of life. Take my advice, just please come and live well.